So Raila Odinga is saying don't panic, mambo bado. Politics is the art of the possible. But is there any chance that having failed twice, Raila and Kalonzo could still be on a joint ticket in 2022?
Why not? The problem is not their differences. The problem is the chief chicken seller. He will send them to retirement. He is threatening. Even the president is scared of him. It will force them to unite. In 2002.
2022.
No,
2002, back in the day.
Yes. You wouldn't have imagined that Raila and Kibaki would be in the same camp running together, with Raila not going for any seat or waiting for phantom seats which were not in the constitution. But the fear of President Moi and Uhuru Muigai, the fear, he put them together. So the fear of Ruto, they will combine. Now, Kalonzo may want to run, but he'll be asked, show us your bank account, ukuna pesa ngapi, and potential of raising it. Now, that he will be told by the president, he will be told by Raila. So, looking at that, he will be told, my brother, let us go in, and then you can come in later, mop up some money, the way others have mopped it, and then you can be president after we are gone.
But is there any point of that coalition? Because they failed twice. What are the chances that next year it'll be successful if they do?
Every day is not Monday. There's a Tuesday, there's a Thursday, there's a Friday. I always don't like this thing where people say you failed twice, you have failed here, you have failed there.
Yeah.
When Kibaki was winning, he had failed for how long?
Yeah, true.
But don't you think whether there will not be like voter fatigue if Baba is on the ticket again?
Which voter fatigue?
Especially when you look at Kibaki, that's a horrible example because we were all tired. It was like the US. There's a point this country reached and we were like, we want someone new. We don't care who. Anyone who's not tied down to the former President Moi. That was the mood at that
But
time.
the other day they elect Biden when the other people were saying, you have been there too much. I have said voters are like a bag of potatoes. Wanjiku, they are like a bag of potatoes. You carry them when you want to markiti. You can carry them to banana. You can carry them where. Don't tell me about voters. Tell me about the leaders and what the leaders present to them. Because voters vote on the basis of tribe. They vote on the basis of party. And they vote on the basis of some little change offered to them. They don't vote how we are fatigued. Who is fatigued?
So we're basic. Voters are basic.
In Kenya.
We're basic.
You will go there and say, where's my fellow Luo? Jaluo. Jaluo on the ballot.
Did you hear Weda?
Yes.
The next time 2022 comes around, and assuming it's not postponed because Atwoli lets it happen, and the elections happen, don't be basic. You and I are basic, according to Weda. We can't.
No, you people, not me. No. Hey, no.
You and I are basic.
Weda can't be basic.
We can't afford to be basic in the next election.
That as well.
Our brains. That's
for me, Julie, you know that even when the time was tough, I said, President, I will be president. Said, Luos don't support Kikuyu. I said, iyo ni nyinyi.
Yes.
Me, I think Uhuru is the future. And even if Raila wants to be president, let him join Uhuru and we move on. And this is what is unfolding. Even then, I will give direction. If you don't follow, too bad. When it comes and the other people win, don't blame me that I didn't tell you.
That Kirubi was the force behind forming the Grand Coalition government.
Those are lies. You know. Actually, Baba is very good when it comes to speaking at people's funerals and springing up some very nice stories that make him look very close. If you look at the run-up to the Grand Coalition, the biggest force came from the United States of America. And they insisted an agreement has to be reached. There must be cessation of violence. And Raila also being a capitalist. You know, capitalists, you never see when capital is being burnt up in the air. And also he loves the people of Kenya. He doesn't love suffering. He loves people growing. So he saw it. But now, you are talking about a wealthy person. When wealthy people die, people are all his friends. But when poor people die, people do not know him. What I know is that Honorable Chris Kirubi, as a brilliant, consummate businessman, not that I'm saying he did, but as a brilliant, consummate businessman, when there are elections, you distribute resources. You give the one you think will win. If you say, I'm distributing 30 million shillings, you say, okay, I think so-and-so is likely to win 15 million. I think so-and-so, Honorable Raila is 10 million. I think Kalonzo Musyoka 3 million. I think around 3 million. Then, but each of them you are talking as if he's the one you are supporting. They never, but they know. So that's why so and so came to my whatever. So and so did. No, it is just to feel nice. They went to the funeral because he was a rich, fairly man, and you want to be seen there. There are others. If there was no violence, if there was no killing, there would be no grand.
I get your logic, Weda. I get your logic, or I beg to differ, because Raila is basically saying he was part of the initiation process. The US, we know how they function. They sit and look, and when things are getting out of hand is when they act. Kirubi, the late, was in town. He has businesses here. So I would understand if he made a move to go and get peace for the interest of, if you can claim not for the country and claim he's a businessman, sour, but also for the interest of his business, which in the long run was for the good of the country.
Brother, let me tell you.
You can't claim he's
let
lying.
me tell you. Now,
You can say, I think he's lying.
Remember, I'm a lawyer and one of the best.
I know.
And the way we do things, you take statements from people, then by logical deduction, you are able to make conclusions. I can tell you statements which are consistent and inconsistent that Baba has always spoken in people's funerals. He goes here, we were with so and so, he's the one who did it. I can give you quite a number of them. Tell you this one, this is the way they were acting, this is what he said. This one, they were like this is it. This one, please. So, it is our nature as Luos and lawyers that when you go to a funeral, you find something nice. Today, if you went ahead of me, God forbid, I will come, or if I'm asked, I'll say he was an upcoming, brilliant young man, good, religious, loved God, loved. I'll say that. Yeah. I will not say I saw him a few days. To me, he looked like Angoroko.
Is this like hypothetical, or are we actually describing?
I'm just telling you how we talk. How we talk as Lewis. Yeah. Do you understand? And I say I was looking at, winking at Julie. He was also doing it, and he knows he's a young man. All these things.
All the winks in the studio.
Yes. So. Don't take too much when you hear a Luo or a lawyer give eulogy in a funeral. They will always add lies.
Remember when the last
you spoke in support.
I also, as a man of God, I've gone to funerals and
you claim these false random claims.
In fact, the worst part, once about 2, 3, 4 times I've been to funerals, the wrong funerals. Do you understand? You enter into a place and you are going to another one that you miss and you go in. Now you go in and say, like in my village, they say, oh, Wakili Weda's come, your third is here, Wakili is here. You are welcome, you are given a seat. Then when you are given the booklet, then you realize this is not the one you are talking about. But you don't just walk out and say, hey, you will be given a chance, you address them and say, Mama was very hardworking, Mama was wonderful. But I have to run because I'll be going to the airport.
Senator Kipchumba Murkomen has introduced an amendment to the Election Act on the degrees requirement for all elective positions. What is the politics behind the move taken by the DP and his allies on this issue?
Most Kenyans, who want to vie, they are not. They will not meet that criteria. So the president, the vice president, the deputy president will be talking about hustler movement. Therefore, he cannot talk about quality leadership. He'll be like all of us. Otherwise, he is the same deputy president who has gone back to university to obtain a PhD, and he is wealthy. He has a big job, and he's still back in school. But he's telling those who are following him, don't worry. Secondly, you take my brother Murkomen, very highly educated. He was a university down before he became. Now, trying to introduce that amendment in the Senate, he also knows that's unprocedural. You start with the National Assembly. But these are just to win votes, to bring people close, people to sympathize, and to say it's with us. Otherwise, to teach CBC, nursery or pre-nursery, they require you now to have a diploma, CBC. Now, how would it be that the bosses of those who employ the CBC teachers, they are the MCAs, they should just have their primary school certificates. They have it and then they come out. Have you ever heard, Julie, tell me, where the Senate of a university, people fought physically as they were debating? I don't know whether you've heard that. But how many county assemblies have you had them fighting physically? Even Nairobi. Why do they fight? Because the capacity to reason is very small. People are born with instinct and potential. Instinct, when a child is born, it can say, "Nga, nga, nga," then is given matiti. Do you understand that? But the brain is developed. That is why even God says, you continue by renewing your mind. You feel it and renew it. This world, the physical universe we live, is a world where we live by knowledge. That's why Hosea 4:6 says, my people perish for lack of knowledge because they have rejected knowledge. So education expands your mind. Education expands your ability to understand, ability to conceptualize. It is only in the county assemblies that they allocate money to pay parking attendants and those who collect money in the markets. They are paid their salaries and they leave out the nurses and the doctors. And to them, that's very normal.
Whether when is about a person who has wisdom, when is he going to be allowed to contest?
Julie, my friend, my girlfriend, let me tell you this. You are soon going to ask, when is a boda person going to be allowed to conduct a surgery? Even simple surgeries like CS, cesarean section. When are bodas are also going to be allowed to nurse even just basic wounds? Please, every position has its own requirements. And let us not justify, let us not praise things which will hurt us. When you hear somebody saying, it's basic education, whatever, a lot of money is spent in funding university education. Funding. Government funds. In fact, very few private individuals can fund professional courses. It is there the people of Kenya funding. Some of these people they are talking about, majority of them have just chose to be Wakora. They chose to be Wakora. Remember Jomo Kenyatta, himself. Jaramogo Gingo Dinga himself went to school in the 1950s and came out with diplomas. Who would bewitch the great-great-grandchildren that they are being asked for basic diploma, and they are saying, hey, and their grandfather 70 years earlier had obtained these things free. When you hear somebody justifying his or her illiteracy, then you know the devil is fat. Please. We are talking about certain specific functions. You are talking about budgeting. Budgeting is a science. You have to understand it. You have to have the mental acuity to appreciate and conceptualize some of these things. MCAs cannot. That is why they're just looking for cars when people are dying of corona. We need leaders whose minds have been so highly developed that they can conceptualize, they can't just not sing. And if they don't want, there are enough people to take those positions. Popularity is not a qualification to be a pilot. That I was elected by the people of Seme constituency. I will be flying this jet from here to Obama land because Obama is our son. No, you will be asked, are you qualified? Even in heaven, it is not on the basis of voting. Qualification. So if for we say president, this qualification, deputy president, we want to appraise the quality of leadership. We want to stop people fighting because they can't reason. If MCAs cannot go to school and they had been given a grace period of 10 years, what do they want us to do? They want us to die for them.
I do agree with you 100% that we need people who are well qualified for positions. And we have so many people out there who know what they're talking about, know what they're doing in terms of different markets, including smart people who figured out that the data breach that has had so many citizens up in uproar is a story that has taken the headlines. And here's the thing, it's members of the public who figured out that, hey, been registered to a political company, a party that I didn't even register for, and they're blaming it on data being shared, and it comes down to e-citizen, Huduma. The conspiracy theorists out there are having a field day. Should we be concerned with what's happening with our data?
Yeah. I remember we registered earlier before the party that went into the TNA called DFP, Democracy and Freedom Party. The legal requirements that you have to have this number of people wherever, and this number of branches. Even Jubilee does not have those number of branches. Have you seen them everywhere as you go around? Even ODM does not have. What you do, you take those M-Pesa forms. You know those M-Pesa forms of the M-Pesa agent. Now those are the names you get, and the telephone numbers and everything, and you register people. Let them not blame the register of political parties or citizen or Duma number. They are Kenyans and they know how dishonest they are. Let them, if it is you are the victim, don't look back and say, hey, now they have done this to me. They do that.
But what does it reveal about how political parties operate?
It's not how political parties operate. That is our society. That's how we operate.
How can we get away with it?
Repent.
Repent!
Repent means change your mind. Come back and say, we are sorry. We have fallen short of the glory of the Lord. Let us do things. Already we are saying, let us have leaders, even if they don't have qualifications. Let's have them. With the same mouth. It is the same leaders who are also, when they want to register, the same leader. They are the ones who get your M-Pesa numbers.
But she says that you can be registered in a party and not remember.
Oh, come on, Julia.
That's one aspect.
You can.
What do you mean, one aspect?
For instance, you can even be a member of a party. You resign. They don't enter it into the data. You understand?
Yes.
Along the way, you're still a member of that party.
That is fine, Weda.
Yes.
But some people are claiming, I can wake up, I've never registered for a political party.
Yeah.
And I wake up and my name and information is registered for a certain political...
But I've just told you that now you go to this M-Pesa agents, you get those details.
Yeah.
As you are registering your
That is
party.
fine.
Because
understand.
what matters is the register of political parties. He tells you must have this number of members. Okay? He doesn't know how you get them. So once you take the list, because you have to take the names, you take them handwritten and then they enter. You give them. They have no way of verifying. Unless they start calling people and say, Weda, I'm just about to register you as a member of UDA. Are you a member? Then I answer. Otherwise, they have no way.
And there's so many people, you can't make those calls. So are you saying there's no solution? We should just be okay and comfortable and get used to it?
Just go and remove your name. Just go and remove your name. If you find your name in the wrong party, just go and remove your name. Wajeni kelele mingi, we shall sue, whatever. There's no justiciable
Tutatoa
ground.
jina yetu kwa political parties, tutoe jina yetu kwa CRB. Kwani jina zetu zinaenda wapi? Wachaneni na sisi. Don't use my information. Wewe.
It is your brothers and sisters.
Leaders had a luncheon last Friday to celebrate Chief Justice Koome as the first ever woman to head the judiciary. Koome said that in an event, she would still constantly engage the parliament to regain their lost links with the government. So she has had a baptism of fire in her first month in office, especially the controversy over the judge's appointment. Have you noticed anything remarkable in her style so far?
No, I think he has made two fundamental mistakes that are very sad. I continue remembering her in my prayers, but I think I'm worried. One, he met a section of the Law Society. Man, as the president and the deputy, the deputy. That's wrong. If the society is divided, please don't pick your faction of the LSK and say this is LSK. That sends bad signal. Number two, he also met Nairobi NMS. But apparently there's a court order saying this outfit is unconstitutional. Now, there is so much work that requires to be done that if you have to, there are so many people to be met that if you want to meet, you need to just start with. You could have just started with the KBC. Say, please give us good coverage as the judiciary before you meet the institutions that have controversy within that requires you to make a choice. Which side are you? Negotiating with the politicians, government, that they will lie to you, they continue lying, and they don't care whether they have lied. So if she was to use that part, as she say, she will cry in the toilet. I'm a lawyer. I know. I've worked with some of these leaders, negotiating with them. The only thing they understand is when you track down BBI, then you tell them, if you want this, do this. Go and do it fast. Then they will do it. Otherwise, negotiating and begging them, they will not understand.
Now let's also quickly look at another important life well lived, the founding father of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, who took a final bow last Thursday, the 17th of June at 97 years. Kaunda was Zambian president from 1964 to 1991. Kaunda will be buried on 7th July. What are your reflections of this great African man, Weda?
Great man. Why is he great? He was able to cede power to allow free and fair elections, in which he lost, and he took it in his stride and left. The same way Nelson Mandela left office, and the same way the Zimbabwean strongman refused to leave power and died in ignominy. So even our African leaders who don't want to leave power, ignominy awaits you here on earth, and also when you meet Jehovah. He's a great man. May God rest his soul in eternal peace. And young people, leaders learn. He says the first pillar you must have in your life is spiritual pillar. You must be anchored in God. That is because you are a spirit having a physical body. These other people who are strong in other things, they are malfunctioning. That's why they kill people and drink their blood, and it's still okay with them.
I'll tell you this, we do appreciate Kaunda. We wish his soul to rest in peace. A great man. And like you said, anchor yourself in spirituality. Do you think then, as politicians, if we do that, regardless of the religion, maybe that will help us have better politicians and avoid some scandals like the one that has been catching our attention of late?
Oh, Kapisa, if you start from the forest, you have these things. One of the things that made Moi become great was his spirituality. And the fact that also in 2002, when everybody believed he would rig elections, he also allowed it, it went on, and he went into retirement. But now if you start from the forest or you start from whatever, because it is only the King of Kings that can pour cold water on your loins. The Delilah spirit is dangerous, and it has brought down people. So we continue praying for our leaders. May Jehovah pull up your zips and pour water on it, so that you take care of your children and you take care of the people of Kenya, only trusting in Jehovah.
Amen, Weda, amen. And thank you so much for coming by the big conversation this morning. It's always a pleasure to have Weda in studio. It's 9:01. Daniel Wahome has the news. I don't know what Chico wants to throw in, but we really have got to.
Yeah, we have to go, but thank you very much for coming through. We love to have you, your opinion as a lawyer, but when it comes down to broadcasting, people who have been doing it for years have a lot more experience, and we think they're doing a great job.